We're doing a tour of the Fairgrounds neighborhood today, one of 79 neighborhoods in the city of St. Louis. We're 6 miles from the Gateway Arch. This is Fairground Park, a nice big park, about 133 acres, and this was the St. Louis Fair Complex. From 1856 to 1902, the St. Louis Agricultural and Mechanical Association had an exposition here. It ended before the World's Fair, but it was interrupted by the Civil War when this became Benton Barracks, or Camp Benton, named after Thomas Hart Benton, one of the 2 first Missouri senators. He has a star on the St. Louis Walk of Fame, a statue at the State Historical Society in Columbia, and a statue in Lafayette Square. His son-in-law, Major General John C. Fremont, established this site for the Union Army. Brigadier General Samuel Curtis was in command, and then William Tecumseh Sherman. For a couple months at the end of 1861, he has a star on our Walk of Fame. This park went through many transformations in its early history. This is a picture of how it looked in 1874. You can see the amphitheater in the center left. That was where a hospital was during the Civil War. This is what it looked like inside. The first St. Louis Zoo started here in 1876 until about 1891. The facade of the bear pits right here are all that remains of it. They had a water hog, kangaroos, llamas, antelopes, tapirs, but the bear pits were the main attraction. The zoo in Forest Park opened in 1910. You can see there was even a lake here in front of the bear pits, so there were lots of transformations, especially early on. This was the first public aviary. This was the monkey house. And there was lots of horse racing from the 1880s until it was banned in Missouri in 1905. Now our track is Fairmount Park in Collinsville, Illinois, part of the Metro East. President Grant, he's a St. Louisan. And Grover Cleveland. And Benjamin Harrison all visited the fair here. This became a public park in 1908. These are the Fairground Park Place apartments. This was the Fairground Hotel, built in 1927. We're not far from where Sportsman's Park was, so many of the ball players would hang out here, and some of them even lived here. Of course, the Browns and Cardinals met in the World Series in 1944. All those games were played in the same stadium, Sportsman's Park. That didn't occur again until 2020, when all those games were played in Texas due to the COVID pandemic. Stan the Man Musial is one who lived here for a while. He won his first world championship in 1942. He has a star on the Walk of Fame. This is him with President Kennedy, with President Bush, with President Clinton, and he got the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President Obama. And he has a huge statue at Busch Stadium, a big meeting spot. Everyone around here knows about meeting at the Stan Musial statue. There he is with Red Schoendienst. They both won in 1946 also. The last night Musial was here, 2 men tried to recruit him to play in Mexico. They offered $25,000 a year for 5 years and a $50,000 bonus. They set 5 $10,000 checks on his bed, right here at the Fairground Hotel. Ned Garver of the Browns is another one who lived here. Now again, there's the amphitheater on this old map. That was replaced in 1912 by the largest swimming pool in the country. It was 440 feet wide and could accommodate over 10,000 swimmers. It was a white-only pool until 1949 when a race riot occurred. Several people were injured and arrested. Charles Guggenheim made a documentary called A City Decides. He's had 12 Academy Award nominations and won 4. He's the most decorated documentary filmmaker in Academy history. That pool was torn down and replaced by a new one in 1958. It's right here. It's open from noon till 6 p.m.
And volunteer so they can reforest this park.
Oh. This is Camp Sunsplash, an environmental education camp. It goes for 10 weeks. They go swimming. Across the street is Beaumont High School. It opened in 1926. Mary Wicks went here, an actress. She's one of our stars. And they produced an incredible amount of Major League Baseball players here. In 1944 alone, they had 5 on the team. Jim Goodwin, Bobby Hoffman, Earl Weaver, Roy Sievers, and Bob Weisler. Bobby Matick went here. Pistol Pete Reeser, Buddy Blattner, Chuck Deering, Dick Williams, he managed the A's to 2 World Series. Lee Thomas. Bob Miller was on the 1956 state champion. He went 12-0 that year and 22-1 total at Beaumont. I'll also mention Jack McGuire, Lloyd Merritt, and Roy Branch all played in the major leagues. And 3 of the Little Rock 9 took courses here after chaos ensued at their high school. They were Elizabeth Eckford, Carlotta Walls, and Thelma Mothershed. And Charles Guggenheim did a documentary on this also called 9 from Little Rock, which won his first Academy Award. And Ronnie White went here. He was the first African-American Chief Justice of the Missouri Supreme Court. And Corey Spinks, the boxer, went here. It closed in 2014. Robison Field was here before Beaumont. The Cardinals played there until 1920 when they joined the Browns at Sportsman's Park. Okay, now we'll talk about soccer. We had the first women's league here in St. Louis in 1950, the Craig League, and they played some here. And there were some other big matches here. St. Louis University played most of their home games here from 1959 to 1964. They've won 10 national championships. That's the most. The 1964 quarterfinal was here, and the 1965 semifinals. SLU beat Michigan State in the final, but that was at Francis Field at Washington University. They won 3 of their 10 national championships there. Bob Golker was the manager for the first 5, and he also won another with Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. Okay, we made it up to Kossuth. He was the father of Hungarian democracy, and he visited St. Louis. And you can just see the gateway arch above that building there. And there's some urban decay, unfortunately. Here's the skating rink. It's too early or too hot right now, probably both, but this is very popular. A lot of people roller skate here. Here you can see the two historic water towers from the park. That's the Grand Water Tower on the left and the Bissell Street Tower on the right. There's some more urban decay here, but this building has some cool glass block windows in the shape of crosses. The first DeVol Library opened in 1909. Ira DeVol is the father of public libraries in St. Louis. It was the first in the country to have children's books and was in Hyde Park until 1965 when this building opened. You can see the water towers again from this parking lot. Fun one today. Thanks everyone for watching.